How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Aaron Loves Wrestling podcast, and I am your host, Aaron Wrestling, and this is another episode. I haven't done one in a long time, since Wrestlemania, actually. Life got in the way, but I'm not going to go too far in detail. But I'm back. I'm going to try to put out more episodes. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell down below for more episodes, and I will try to do as more as possible. Follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter. A_L_W podcast. And you can also follow me on Facebook. Now the Facebook one not as much. I'm gonna try and do both, but mainly on the X Twitter. That's what I'm on. I still call it Twitter. The X is gonna have to take some time to get used to still. But I'm on there. I share my tweets and thoughts on there. I will talk about the shows as much as possible, the pay-per-views, pretty much all around wrestling. Mainly WWE and AEW, but I've heard some good news about Impact lately. I'm going to start diving into that. Probably we'll talk about that as well. I was a big TNA fan back in the day before it turned from TNA into Impact. It turned to Impact when Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan came involved. But it was just TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. And then when they got involved, they changed it to Impact. It's been Impact ever since. I still call it TNA, but it's now Impact. But today, on today's episode, we will be talking about the WWE recent releases. We have Elias, we have Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali. Those three big names right there. There's Emma, there's Aaliyah, there's Top Dollar, and there's Rick Boogs, another big name. There were so many have been released today, and I'm sure that is not it. I'm sure as the day goes on, maybe tomorrow we'll see more news. But there have been releases happening. They said it was going to be office staff only at first, and now it's turned into wrestlers. So we're going to probably see more, because there's some wrestlers we probably even forgotten about that have been sitting at home this whole time getting paid. And with this merger, it's not really Vince's money anymore. Now it's Endeavor. Now it's TKO. Now it's the merger. Their money now. And if you're going to pay people to sit at home, Vince might have been okay with it just to hoard talent. Endeavor, TKO, they might not be. And obviously they're not, because they're releasing talent. They're even releasing office staff. Like, what do you do here? Okay, we don't need you. Bye. That's what they're doing. The WWE wrestlers. We might even see announcers. Who knows is going to be on the cutting list? Who knows is going to be on the chop block? We'll see. A lot of people are saying, well, they should go to AEW. No, AEW has a big roster already right now that some of them they don't even know what to do with. Andrade, he was at first a big push, and then now we rarely have seen him as of late. They have so many wrestlers over there right now that are lost in the shuffle because Tony Khan has too many people to work to work with. I mean, he's going to stick to his boys. You know that his boys are he's going to put them first above the list, but everybody else, okay, what to do? He might put them in a match here and there, but as far as story, what are you going to do? He's got too many right now. The only ones I can see him signing and doing something with, that I think he's got that he can have a direction with, is Dolph Ziggler. Even Elias and Mustafa Ali. But Shelton Benjamin's another name that was cut. Shelton Benjamin might go to AEW. Who knows? Shelton Benjamin might be done. We'll see here in the future. We'll see here in the next 24 hours who else is going to be released, who else is going to be on the chop block. If you want to find out the who, I will share it on X, Twitter, And you'll see it there. I'll either do a tweet myself or see it and probably retweet it, re-exit, whatever it's called. Excuse me. But Aaliyah going to WWE or AEW. Emma, I don't see it. Emma Tenaya Dashwood, possibly, but not Aaliyah. Rick Boogs even probably will be over there. But all these other wrestlers, Top Dollar, don't see it. Maybe Impact. Riddick Moss, Madcap Moss, him as well. He was actually becoming a Paul Heyman favorite, or he was a Paul Heyman favorite, and he was getting a good push, and then he got lost in the shuffle again, and you haven't seen him in months. So it's a lot of these releases are good for both parties because some of these people want to wrestle, they want to be in there. Some of them are not just there to want to get paid sitting at home, but some of these are getting paid just to sit at home, and they don't want to. They want to wrestle. They want to get in there. They want to get in there and show their creativity. They want to show off their talent. They want to show off their creative mind. And WWE has held them back. WWE has put them on the shelf because they may have had a good hot start, and then they're like, we don't know what else to do with you. A lot may be changing here shortly, and this will be what I'll be talking about later today is the Vince McMahon investigation. Supposedly this is going to completely push him out for good. And you may say, oh, well, he's now in charge. Well, he sold the company now. Endeavor, TKO own 51%. They have the extra percentage there to, just like Vince did, and that's why he pushed himself back in January, February, is because of he owned a couple percent more than the others on the board. Now he doesn't. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, it was 51% Endeavor, Amari Emanuel, and then 49% with WWE. If Endeavor and Amari Emanuel want to cut him, they can cut him. I'll talk more in details about that later. But these wrestlers that got released, it is good for both parties, and I really want to see them in a wrestling ring here shortly, especially Dolph Ziggler. I love Dolph Ziggler. They were pushing him as a HBK 2.0 with the Sweet Chin music he was doing and all that, and I don't like that. I want originality. I don't want to see somebody take something of someone else who's been retired, take it, and use it for themselves just to keep it going. We've seen it before. Show me something new. Shawn Michaels was doing some high-flying stuff there for a minute off the ladder in his ladder matches, and even in the other matches he's had with doing the moonsault and jumping over the rope and stuff like that. And then here comes Jeff Hardy and the Hardys, and then it just elevated from there and evolved from there. We didn't see the same thing. We didn't see someone else do a swanton. No, we saw someone else do like a 450 splash. We saw somebody else do other like a corkscrew spin in the air, and then do a special move that way. It evolved. It didn't stay the same. That's what I didn't like about Ziggler had his own moves, the zigzag, I think it was called, and then there was another move he did, and that was him. It was original. And then they started having him be a modern day Shawn Michaels, and I don't like that. I'm a huge Shawn Michaels fan. That is my number one top favorite wrestler, and I definitely don't want to see somebody come in and try to take his stuff just to keep Shawn Michaels going. No, if I want to see Shawn Michaels stuff, I want to see Sweet Chin music, I want to see all that, I want to see Shawn Michaels do it. I don't want to see somebody else do it. It's just like the super kick move now. It has been overused by many wrestlers. Many people do it. It was just Shawn Michaels. And then now many people are doing the super kick. I can't wait to see Dolph Ziggler and his creativity, what he wants to do. He may not even wrestle again. Some people are just WWE loyal. I don't want to go anywhere else. Ziggler may still want to wrestle. His brother is over there at AEW. He'll more likely want to go over there and tag team with his brother. Maybe do that, or maybe even want to wrestle against his brother. They tell a story that way. That'd be interesting. But we've seen so many brother versus brother matches. But we'll see. We'll see where all these wrestlers go. Aaliyah will probably be a good fit at NWA or Impact. I don't see her fitting in at AEW, but I haven't seen her creative side either. I've seen what WWE has done with her, not what she has in her back pocket. We'll see. Elias, he was another big one. I was a big Elias fan. Still am. I hope to see him in another ring, Impact or Impact or NWA. Again, AEW has too many right now. Some of these, even if they're a big name, will get lost in the mix. Only 3 really, possibly 4 that I don't see getting lost in the mix, but they probably will because so many I've had going from WWE to AEW. Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali, and Elias. They're the top 3. But even then, 2 of the 3 might still. Dolph Ziggler, I don't see him getting lost at all. He's a former world champion, Intercontinental champion, but Elias and Mustafa Ali, they may. I don't know. Mustafa Ali is great in the ring, that style that AEW loves. So he may not. Elias may not because of his drifter side. They might actually let him do the full thing now that WWE did at once, and then they held it. They pulled it back and just basically used it as a joke. Then you have Rick Boogs as well, great talented musician. He's great and talented in the ring as well. I love seeing Rick Boogs. I love seeing the energy he brings to the ring. Hopefully we'll see him in another wrestling ring. There are so many talents right here in this list that has been released, and I'm sure Endeavor is not done yet. There's probably more. There's probably more that are sitting at home that we don't even know about. Or we don't even remember. That when we see them released, we're probably going to get upset. I'm not. Why? Because they get to go and basically do what Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, has done. He don't need WWE now. He's built his own brand. There's been a lot of people been begging him to go back to WWE because of what he has done. He's basically built himself up, done what Cody Rhodes has done what Drew McIntyre has done what so many have done that have left WWE. Go off on the independent scene. I mean, heck, Cody Rhodes started AEW. I mean, and he got pushed out of his own company, or he left his own company. There's just so many wrestlers that have left WWE, and it actually benefited them, and then they have returned, and they're a top name. They're in the World Championship matches. They're in the main events. Will we see that? Maybe. Possibly. Dolph Ziggler, we've seen him in World Championship matches, never a main event of WrestleMania or anything, but we've seen him in the main event of some pay-per-views. We've seen him wrestle against one of the best. He's gone up against John Cena. He's gone up against a lot. He was in the Spirit Squad when they faced DX. A lot of people don't remember that. I mean, they have been. He has been in a lot of big in the ring with a lot of big names, legends, Hall of Famers, which he's also a Hall of Famer himself, and he's also built himself on his own, and now he is who he is today. I miss seeing him. I wish he was in the world title picture more. I wish he was in the main event picture more. We'll more than likely see that in AEW. I can see him doing that in AEW. But don't see the others. I see him get lost in the mix. They might come back and be the short little lightning ride, so to speak. The old saying goes, where they'll get that hot minute and then eventually fade off. We have seen many WWE releases do that with AEW as of late. I mean, Andrade, how long has it been since we've seen him? I mean, he appeared recently on Collision or Rampage. But as far as that, we'll probably see him more with Collision or Rampage. And Collision does need more talent. So we'll probably see, or I would say star power. They got talent, but star power. We'll probably see Dolph Ziggler get signed and he'll be on Collision. We'll probably see Elias get signed and he'll be on Collision. What they can do, and this is my idea, if Tony Khan really wants to get creative, Collision can be your former WWE guys who are competing with AEW, the originals, in a brand versus brand warfare. To me, that would be very creative. How long will it last? I don't know, but it'll be fun while it does last. I can see that going. But we shall see. A lot of these releases, we'll see where they go here in the future. I'm wondering if there's the 90-day clause. Because the 90-day clause, that was on Vince McMahon. If Endeavor has released them, they probably won't have a 90-day clause. You never know. We could see some of these talents on AEW here in the next couple weeks. Dynamite. Collision. I don't think that I've not read yet of a 90-day clause in their contract. And if nobody knows of the 90-day clause, that's what Vince has done with some of these talent, that they can't go anywhere for 90 days. And he started that because back in the 90s when WCW came about, when a lot of wrestlers would leave WWF at the time, now WWE, you would see them on WCW the very next week, the very next night. They may have done a house show or was on WWF television that week before, and then they say, you see him on a WCW ring. That's why he established that 90-day clause. I mean, it's still the same. You just don't see them for a while. They're going to go to the other show, whether it be the next night or 3 months. I never understood that. To me, it was unfair for the wrestler, for the talent. But we'll see. I don't think there's a 90-day clause in these releases, so we can see some of these talents on these other promotions here shortly. Impact, NWA, AEW, keep watch. We'll probably see them here shortly. On to the next news. USA Network, who has Raw and NXT, has now bought Smackdown for 5 years. Raw, I think, is still on there till 2025. And 2026, and the NXT the same, just a year later after that. But they could do a renewal, sign them back for a long period of time, and they have all 3 brands on the network. There's even talks of Raw maybe moving to NBC, and SmackDown will be exclusive on USA. We'll see. They might all be on the USA Network, just different nights. There's even rumor going around that Raw will be moved from Monday night. It won't be Monday Night Raw anymore. A lot of people don't like that. I personally, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed about it. There would be some change, but if there's some change coming, it needs to be changed. It can't be, we're just going to move this from this night to this night because of whatever. That is what we need to see some real change. I want to see real changes to the stages, the setups. SmackDown, Raw looking different. NXT looking completely. I mean, NXT looks different already, but let's see some completely different stages to really separate each brand from their own. SmackDown, bring back the fist look with the modern twist. Raw, bring back some of the old school looks with the modern twist, or do something completely different. Just make it look different. Make it feel like a different brand, a different show. Because honestly, with the brand warfare they try to do lately, it has not been the same like it was back in the day, and the drafts have been pointless because of, you'll see it might last for a little while, but then you'll see someone that was drafted to SmackDown there wrestling on Raw, and then vice versa. I want to see real change. I want to see separation between these brands to make it feel different. Survivor Series, we can bring back the brand warfare there and make it really mean something. I mean, in my opinion, the best year for the brand splits was when Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman were the general managers of each brand back in 2004, I believe, and they really made it feel competitive. They were trying to one-up the other. They were trying to compete with the other. They were trying to get the so-and-so wrestler to join their brand, Triple H or Undertaker, etc. They made it feel like a brand warfare. And then since then, it hasn't really felt that. I would love to see general managers come back to the shows. I would love to see somebody be GM of Raw. Adam Pearce is great. He can be the GM of Raw. But let's find one for SmackDown. I think Paul Heyman would be great. Let's make him GM again. And then let's do this brand warfare again. And let's make it in the draft. And let's make it feel like competition. Let's, hey, the ratings and stuff like that. When we played the GM mode in the WWE games, that's what it was. You was the GM of the brand, and you had to pull the ratings. You had to manage your money to sign the wrestlers. And then these wrestlers, but you need to do this. In my opinion, Paul Heyman would be great. Have them separate from Roman, turn on Roman, whatever. Or he can even still be with Roman and show favoritism towards Roman. And then eventually, maybe his job gets threatened or whatever, and then he turns on Roman. Something like that. There's so many ways you can go with that. But let's make GMs good. Bring them back on Raw and SmackDown. And even NXT, when William Regal was the general manager of NXT. It just makes it, when there's an authority figure there with these wrestlers, it makes it more fun, and the stories are there because... we all seen the old Stone Cold versus McMahon back in the day. We can do that again with new GMs and new wrestlers because of bringing these managers back on the shows. I'm hoping with Endeavor and TKO. I'm hoping with USA by Smack. I'm hoping they crack down. Like, hey, let's the product is good now. Their story, there's especially with Triple H in charge, and he might even be fully in charge here shortly with this Vince McMahon investigation. Again, get more into the details later. But he might have more full control. He might have more full control to where he can bring back some of that old nostalgia that we've all missed, the old schools. He's done it with the World Heavyweight title. It looks like the old school belt with a modern twist to it. Yeah, there's a big W in the middle. But it still looks great. It still looks great. The Universal title looks great. I wish they'd done that. I wish they went with that design more than the red and blue belts. I would have loved the title more then. And who knows, they might bring back the WWE title once Roman loses the Universal title, because this has been now Roman's belt. He has made it prestigious. He has made it the main title now. The World Heavyweight title Seth Rollins is making the World Heavyweight title up there and prestigious, but the main belt and the main champion that everyone looks at right now is Roman Reigns with the Universal title belt. He has made it to what it is today. Since then, it's been to me a joke of a belt, and the red and blue look to the belt, whichever brand it landed on, made it look stupid. I didn't like it. A lot of fans didn't like it. When they first brought the title in, it was a red belt. It wasn't bad, but I would have been fine bringing back the World Heavyweight title than this Universal title. I want them to bring back the WWE belt and bring back a modern day old school look to it. A modern day twist to the old school look, like Triple H has done with the World Heavyweight belt. When Roman loses his title, let's let this title be his, retire with him, goes with him, and then let's bring back the old school belt, the WWE belt, the gold wing belt. There was a picture shared on social media, so it had Cody Rhodes design. It was the old wing belt, but with Cody Rhodes look to it. It had his logo in the middle of the belt, but it was the old wing WWE belt, but a modern day twist look to it. And I guess whichever champion was on their logo, right there, like they do with the nameplate things. Their nameplates on there instead of their name on the belt, like they used to. They used to put the name on the belt. Now they do the nameplates on the sides of the belt. But this one, the nameplate was on the center of the belt. His tattoo on the side of his neck, that logo. So hopefully we'll see that. Leading to the other news with the Vince McMahon, like I was talking about, he's under investigation again. It's been reported that the SEC is investigating him, and this one right here could completely move him from power. He shouldn't be in power right now to begin with because of what he did. If you don't know what he did, he had he paid for sexual favors with some of the women on his roster, and in return, he would pay them and push them on the TV. Who? There's no names have been dropped, and no one has come out to admit that they did it. Who knows who could have been? But it was wrong. He used not only his money but the company money. That's also wrong. He shouldn't be in power right now. And now that he's back in investigation, TKO and Endeavor are now looking into it, and they have the power. He might be next on the chopping block. He might be released. I mean, they can do it. It's their company now. WWE is now theirs. It's like, oh, well, maybe that's not what they agreed to. If it's in contract, then yeah, they can't do that. But if this is coming about, then they can probably, I would imagine, can still remove Vince. I mean, if the law comes in and hey, yeah, he's got to be removed, then it's got to be done. But Vince McMahon might shortly be removed completely from WWE, which has, I mean, a lot of people are hating on Vince, but people also have to remember what Vince McMahon has brought us. He brought us WWE. He brought us the characters such as Undertaker, Triple H, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, all these legends that we love today. Edge, John Cena. All these legends that we love today and all the wrestlers even now that we currently love are because of Vince McMahon. Does it cover what he did? No. He still should face consequences for what he did. But let's not all just, now we complete. I have hated how Vince has run WWE the past, since he went PG. I mean, not saying he had to stay with the old school attitude era, ruthless aggression. I mean, I wish some of it would have stayed. The blood, the aggressiveness of the matches, the stories, a lot of the stuff that made us love it. And there's some benefits that came through the PG era. There's some benefits that came through they did that because of the board, and they had some sponsors they had to please and stuff, and they didn't want to see none of this, edginess in the product, so they cut it out. Maybe we'll see it come back now with Endeavor owning it. Maybe they'll cut all that out and then pick up some sponsors that don't care about it and move on their way. I mean, we might see the return of some of this edginess back, the ruthless aggression. We might see blood return. We might see some more hardcore matches and stuff. I mean, but Triple H has made it known that he'd rather not see blood come back. There's no need for it. And it caused a lot of injuries to some of the wrestlers. I'd say leave it up to the wrestler. If they want to do it, let them do it. If they don't, of course, you don't want them being Mick Foley and nearly dying in the ring like Mick Foley did, although have major respect for him, and that Hell in a Cell match, still the greatest Hell in a Cell match of all time. But look what it did to him in his body. Of course, you need to have some restraints on that and some barriers to where the wrestler doesn't cross over that line, not only hurt themselves, but the person they're in the ring with. And then they're out for a long period of time. You can still have it, but have some pull to it and be like, hey, okay, well, let's not go that far. We'll see. We'll see what we do here. See what WWE does with these new sales. And now Vince McMahon completely gone out. Triple H will be completely in charge. And he can do what he wants to do. The WrestleMania 40 is coming up soon. And leading into WrestleMania 39, Triple H had everything going for him. And then Vince McMahon stepped in. And now Vince McMahon might be completely removed. And we'll see Triple H get full reins of the company and do what his vision is for WrestleMania. Speaking of WrestleMania, there's rumors going around with The Rock and CM Punk returning to WWE. CM Punk, there's rumor of him returning at Survivor Series, which is in Chicago. And then there's return of The Rock that we saw on last Friday Night Smackdown. Now there's this word of The Rock versus Roman. We'll get to see that match. The Rock confirmed on College Game Day on Friday that it was locked in. And then it got pulled and they went with Cody. But now we'll probably see The Rock versus Roman Reigns. My personal idea for this, let's have The Rock return. Let him interrupt Roman Reigns in one of his promos. The Rock returns. He cuts a promo on Roman, say, hey, I'm going to enter the Royal Rumble. I'm going to, and if I win, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for that title. And then have him create some division within the bloodline. Roman starts bullying them and saying, oh, you do as I say. And then he bullies them, hey, we'll go attack The Rock. And then The Rock, then the bloodline, Solo and Jimmy, because it seems like Jimmy's back in it now, when he's supposedly supposed to be on his own, have them walk out on Roman. The Rock The Rock wins the Rumble. The Rock goes to challenge Roman not only for the title, for a head of the bloodline, the Tribal Chief title, and a first blood match. The Rock wins the match, wins the title, dethrones Roman, basically completely destroys Roman. We don't see Roman for a long time, until SummerSlam. Rock and Cody, Rock has another short title reign, one last time. And then we have Roman come back, interrupt the match with Rock versus Cody, cost The Rock the title belt, and then we see Cody win, quote unquote, finish the story. We have Rock versus Roman one more time at Survivor Series of next year. The main event. Loser retires, leaves WWE. Roman retires Rock. Rock's completely done from the WWE. Done with ring competition. That would be a great story. There would be a start, there would be a finish. That would be great. All of it will play out with the whole Hollywood situation. There's a writer's strike, so that's why Rock and Cena are back. Rumor has it Batista's about to be back. Who knows? Last WrestleMania 35. After that, Batista said, "No, I'm completely done with wrestling, but gotta do something for work, and what else to do? It's either that or go back to MMA, which I'm sure Batista don't want to do." So we might see Batista back in the ring. We might see him back in a WWE ring again, and he does his thing. We'll see. I'm hyped up for the Rock vs. Roman Reigns match. I can't wait to see it. I wanted to see it in Hollywood. I think that would have been a better spot to do it. It would have been much bigger. I mean, you got the biggest star in Hollywood, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. That would have been a better spot. But we're getting it. We're getting it at WrestleMania. I think it'll be fun. They could tell a good story. And like I said, with what I pitched, I think that'd be great. And it'd be, great for The Rock and Roman. We also got CM Punk. Since the whole release of CM Punk from AEW, he's not suing AEW. We shall see what happens with CM Punk, even if there is a 90-day clause with CM Punk and his contract, which Tony Khan said he wasn't going to do, but he has done it to some wrestlers. Even if that were still in the clause, it's still enough time until Survivor Series. Survivor Series in Chicago. There's this big speculation, and there's the rumors going around that CM Punk's returning to WWE, and he's going to return at Survivor Series. He could be the fifth man and the big 5-on-5 tag matches that they usually do, or he could be a surprise, costing someone a title belt, or costing someone a match that he's going to rival with. Who knows? We're all waiting. CM Punk said he wants to move on from the AEW situation. He's not going to file a lawsuit. He's not going to do it. He's just moving on and walking away, and he's planning on going. Rumor has it he's going to go back to WWE. There's also been word that he spoke with WWE before, back in January, leading up to the Royal Rumble. He was at the Monday Night Raw that was in Chicago that night, and he talked with a few, and maybe he made some apologies. Vince McMahon got word that he was back there, and he said, get him out. Now that Endeavor owns WWE, and possibly now Vince McMahon completely going from WWE, CM Punk might actually be back, because it's not Vince's call anymore. And Triple H has even been noted that he will work with CM Punk again. He will give him another chance. So with all those playing out, we might see CM Punk back in the WWE ring again. We might see him feud with maybe Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes, or who knows? Who knows who he wants to wrestle with? I know he wants to right a lot of the wrongs that he's done within the company and the business. I know he wants to. I think maybe AEW was his stepping stone to get back into the WWE, to show that, hey, I can still wrestle. I still got it. And of course, with the whole AEW situation happened with the Elite and all that, which was started by the Elite, by the way. Everyone cannot pin this on Punk. It was started by the Elite. They started it. They started the whole fight. And then the whole thing with Jack Perry, that was uncalled for. I agree. That was uncalled for. He didn't have to do all that. But, he maybe, you never know. Maybe he did that on purpose so that Tony Khan could release him. And CM Punk been wanting out of his contract, because he signed a 5-year contract back in 2021. He was locked in for 4 years, 4 or 5 year contract. And he probably didn't want to keep, he wanted to wrestle, but he had to do it with AEW. So maybe he did that on purpose so he could just be completely out of his contract. Not the way I would have done it, no. But he got out. Now there's word of WWE, and he knew about the sale too. This whole time, I bet you it was probably Vince keeping him out of WWE for the longest, because he didn't like CM Punk. Maybe we'll see CM Punk back in the WWE ring again. There's a lot of, but we've seen wrestlers that have had beef with Vince before, and they've returned. So it may have not been completely Vince, and maybe it was all more Punk. He didn't want to return because of how WWE was. But now with the changes, so the sell to Endeavor, and now maybe possibly the different direction WWE is going, we might see CM Punk back in the WWE ring, and it may not be for a short run. It might be for the next few years. I think he's only 43 years old, 44. He can have another good 5-year run. Do it better this time, more professional than the last time. We'll see. I'm hoping longer than just a year, a few matches. I actually am a Punk fan, but we shall see. CM Punk it might be for WrestleMania, and then he's done. We'll see. The Rock versus Reigns. I'm excited for that again. And then we got lastly, we got the news of the Elimination Chamber in Australia. Who will be the main event there? Probably Rhea Ripley in a women's world title match, I'd imagine. That'll probably be her show. I do not see if I see Waller as the main event, that would shock me, Grayson Waller. But who knows? He could be with John Cena. He deserves it. He's great. He's great talent. He's great on the mic. It could be with John Cena. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, and another thing thought of The Rock. Back to the whole Rock thing. This is where I'll end. The Rock versus Reigns. The story. This is why I think it should go. The full story. We got the Bloodline feuding with John Cena and AJ Styles. We have a tag match at Survivor Series. Cena and Styles versus Solo and Jimmy. Cena and Styles win. Roman comes out, and they have a 3-on-2 beatdown. Then you see The Rock come out, and he gets involved. he disrupts the whole thing. And then you see The Rock and Cena and Styles standing tall at the end of the show, running off the bloodline. Following SmackDown, Roman goes out and cuts a promo. Roman is furious, he's hot, he's mad, and he's demanding The Rock come out, give an explanation, etc. Rock comes out, and then he gives the promo. Cuts like, hey, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. And if I win, I'm going to challenge you for that title at WrestleMania. Just to let you know. He cuts the promo in Rock fashion. He also creates some division within the bloodline. Starts saying, hey, why are you rolling with this fool? Why are you rolling with him? He's doing nothing but bullying you. He's done nothing but keep you down. Who has the title and who doesn't, etc., etc. Whatever he does to bring division within the bloodline. Then we see the bloodline, Jimmy and Solo walk out on Roman. Then it's just Roman. Rock wins Royal Rumble. Again, Rock wins the title at WrestleMania. It's not only for the title, but for the head of the bloodline title, Tribal Chief, and a first blood match for the bloodline. Go figure. Even have Rikishi maybe in a special guest referee the match. Don't have to. Add some flavor to it. Rock wins. Rock wins the title. Roman gets the press. He goes away. We don't see Roman until SummerSlam. Rock has another short title reign until SummerSlam. Then it builds up to Cody versus Rock at SummerSlam for the Universal title. Roman comes back, interrupts the match, costs Rock the match. Cody wins the belt, probably not in the fashion that everybody wants, the way that Cody wants. Cody wins the belt. Rock and Roman then have a match set up at Survivor Series to end this whole thing. The loser leaves WWE. Doesn't have to have any stipulations to the match. If you want to add some flair to it, do so, but it can just be that. Roman wins. Now he has the title. He retired to Rock. Rock officially retires from in-ring competition. He's done with wrestling for good. That's how you end this story. That to me probably won't happen that way, but that would to me be the perfect way to do this story. And on that note, that it concludes today's episode. Follow me again on Twitter, X, whatever, ALW Podcast. You can also follow me on Facebook. Also, hit that subscribe button, notification bell to get notified of new episodes. Follow me, share this video, get the word out, AEW Podcast, and let's wait to see the news here in the future. Have a good one, guys.